Well, welcome everybody here from Josh's house.
Near Hollywood, California.
That's right. That's right.
Today we have another special guest, a dear friend of ours. He happens to be the lead alto player in the West Coast Jazz Hour Big Bands, but he is one of the most in-demand woodwind players in LA. He's played with Ray Anthony, Jack Sheldon. You've played with. Have you played with the Juggernaut bands? Frank
a little bit. Yeah.
Frank Cap.
Yeah.
Goodwin Big Fat Band.
Mandel.
Mandel. Yes, thank
Johnny
you
Mandel.
for
Wow.
reminding me. Johnny Mandel. I've seen you with that band actually. Frank Sinatra, Natalie Cole. You name it, he's done it. And then also not to talk about or not to mention all of the movie and TV scores that he has recorded. So today, the West Coast Jazz Hour welcomes Sal Lozano to the show.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Sal.
Of course, always with my friend and co-host, Josh Nelson. So, we're going to talk a little bit about some recordings that Sal has sent us, but we always love to ask all of our guests, how did you start? You went to school somewhere. You had a couple of mentors. You had Gary Foster, for example, as a mentor. So maybe you can talk about that and also talk about a little bit who were the first people that you start to play with when you started your professional career.
I grew up in Arcadia. I went to Arcadia High School. I grew up with Alex Isles and a guy named Kurt Curtis, who's a trumpet player.
Oh yeah, right.
And we used to in high school, we used to play at Pasadena City College for Gary Foster, and he had these two rehearsal bands that were at Pasadena City College, and so we would go up there like starting my junior year, I think, going up there and play, and went to Cal State Long Beach.
So
Yeah.
Represent.
And
Yeah.
and then right in the middle of towards the beginning of Cal State Long Beach, I auditioned and got a job working. I was in the Disney All American College Band, and then I got a job working at Disneyland in my sophomore year, playing in a band there. And I met a bunch of people there. I met Wayne Bergeron. I met Charlie Morellis. I met and worked for Tom Rainier, and I met a bunch of other people who had been who eventually really helped me in my career. And I met Tom Kubis and Eric Marienthal and Gordon Goodwin, and we were all working at Disneyland together. The list is endless, and that kind of started me there. When I left Disneyland in 1990, that's when I started to do other things. I had more time to get my act together and practice and take lessons with the people that really made a difference in my life. My saxophone teacher at Long Beach State, Leo Potts, made a difference in my life. Jim
Potts.
Walker.
Yeah.
My flute teacher made a difference. Jim Canner made a difference, and my clarinet teacher, and that's kind of what got me on the road to working hard to do what I was doing. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Very well.
It makes sense. All of those words made sense. That's super cool. And how, because Gary Foster is such a maybe that's oh no, that's not with Gary, but Gary Foster is such an influential improviser and has played with so many people. Was he because you talked now a little bit about your skills as a woodwind player, doubler, section player, but then was Gary more of an improv teacher also as well?
Gary was never. I never took a lesson with him.
Oh, okay.
I just was simply given an opportunity to play for him in a big band setting as a kid in high school. I knew what Gary had done. I knew that, that especially at the time, there was a big band called the Toshio Akiyoshi Lutubakan Big Band.
Absolutely,
and they were a Grammy-winning big band here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And that between that band and the Bob Florence Limited Edition, that was the two bands that I just went, wow. And I really hadn't heard the Cat Pierce Juggernaut too much, but I definitely heard those two bands, because there was something about them that blew my mind. But Gary was a member of that Toshiko Akiyoshi Lutubakan Big Band, and I think that I just wanted to gravitate towards that. Yes, true improviser. Lee Konitz, Lenny Tristano, Warren Marsh.
Yep.
He taught at a music studio in Pasadena that I think he owned the building called Nova Music Studios. And that's where I started to learn how to play saxophone with a guy named Greg Adams, and who's still around, who lives in the northern part of Pasadena. And Greg got me kind of on the road to that, but I just gravitated towards that way of playing. I'm not really one to say that I studied improvisation, and up until recently, I've never been really that much of I do it. Yeah, I play it all the time. I'm not sometimes comfortable doing it. Because I had been surrounded by, some of the most amazing improvisers in the world, and just wow, this is intimidating, to sit in a band at Disneyland and have Eric Marienthal and Bill Liston on either side of me. Bill Liston, wonderful arranger, composer, unbelievable improviser, and then Eric Marienthal, state of the art saxophone. And that was kind of so I kind of stuck to maybe playing the flute a little bit more. But that was also the passion that I got out of it. I really get a kick out of doing that.
Right. And you ended up playing with the Bob Florence Big Band yourself, right?
I subbed with the Bob Florence Big Band later on. I subbed with a lot of different big bands, Bill Holman and Bob Florence and Frank Capp and Bill Berry, quite a few of them. Yeah. Bob Florence blew my mind. Bob Florence's big band, especially, there's a couple albums that just, that really blew my mind. Westlake and Bebop Charlie, and those were the ones that were just, for me, I remember hearing that band a couple of times. It's just like, man, this is state of the art.
Yeah.
And there was this drummer they had, this guy named Nick Ciroli, who was just
we were just talking about him.
Phenomenal. Just knew how to kick a band, and he had that. What was that? What was it? That cymbal that he had?
You mean the China cymbal?
The China cymbal. Yeah, it had that odd sound to it when he played it. I never played with him, but I did hear the band when he was on the band.
Well, maybe we should start with playing that.
Yeah.
Because you sent Carmelo's.
Oh, that Carmelo's by the Freeway.
Yeah,
That's the name of the song. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should play that with the band.
I love that tune.
Yeah, that's great.
I love that tune.
So we'll listen to maybe a portion of it. It's a little long.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the long side.
Yeah.
I love the shout choruses.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Carmelo's by the Freeway with Bob Florence and Sal Lozano, our special guest. Thank you, Sal.
For live recording. Maybe it's something different that
Started up there in that already, and go. This might be Carmelo's from that on concept. Yeah, that might be this second.
Yeah. Shout.
Yeah. All the nitty gritty stuff. Don't do that. Oh yeah. Yeah, the whole arcs.
Yeah.
The
artist.
The great thing about this, one of the great things, their ability to like the bassy
It's always this.
Unbelievable.
God, that's insane.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that.
Never heard it.
Never heard that recording before. I've heard the studio one is, everybody hears that.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard that. Was amazing.
Well, I have to send it to you.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah, so that had Bob Cooper and Steve Hofstetter.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned that this was one of the bands that was able to play very dynamical as
Their ensemble was something to behold. To hear that live, to hear that, like when back in the day we used to go to Disneyland to hear the big bands in the summertime. You remember that?
Of course, I played there as a kid.
Go to Disneyland to hear them and to hear the bassy band play that quiet and go, how are they doing that?
Right.
And this is the same thing. This Bob Florence band, they were just able to real nice and crisp and clean and in tune and then swing like crazy and then, explode, like, wow.
Excellent players, but also a testament to the arranging.
Absolutely.
And the writing that brought the best out of the great musicianship. Yeah, man.
Yeah. It was like Joe Williams said about the Basie band. He said, the Count Basie band playing soft is like the Count Basie band playing loud a mile away. It's that kind of, where things are nice and crisp. Same here. Really,
Wow.
That's a great album. Yeah.
So what is important to you when, because you played with so many bands. You played with Mandel. I would like to know something about that. But you played with Mandel. You played with you're playing with Goodwin. You're playing with Kubis. You're playing with Ray Anthony. You've played with Cap. You've played with Bob Florence. And I'm assuming different positions, like either lead alto or second alto.
Lead alto, second alto. A couple of times I've played tenor. Very seldom played baritone, but lead alto or second alto. One of the first times I ever played with Ray Anthony, I was subbing for Eric Marienthal. And I can go ahead and say this. Ray didn't know that Eric was sending me, so I showed up. I showed up to the Century Plaza Hotel, and this is a true story. Yeah. I showed up to the Century Plaza Hotel, and I come in there, and Ray always had, we were wearing tuxedos with a ruffled shirt, right? Blue bow ties, right? So I had to go in and get my bow tie, and I walk in, and Ray Anthony looks at me and goes, "Who the hell are you?" And I said, "Oh, Eric didn't tell you that." No, so, but Rick Baptist, Alan Kaplan, they're all there. "Hey, Sal, okay, great, everything's cool." Well, I sat second alto to Marshall Royal. Ooh. And now I'm like, oh boy, he's one of my true idols. Yeah. Like, I remember hearing the records of that band when I was a little kid and hearing him and going, this is it right there. The commanding lead alto, the sound, just the sheer energy of the way he plays. I can still hear it now. And I sat next to him play second alto, and there was this part in the music where how you're reading, all of a sudden there's like 8 measures rest, and it was on the bottom of the page, and there's music up here to read. So as we're reading, and I'm first time playing with this band, and I'm sitting next to Marshall, and Roger Newman was there, and Bob Hardaway, and Leo Anthony, and Ray's brother, and I'm playing along, and I ignore by accident that 8 bars rest, and I go immediately to this other part to start playing, and I'm realizing I'm wrong, so I kind of just sheepishly kind of take the horn out of my mouth, and I look at Marshall, and Marshall looks at me and goes, Good thing this is a video, because that's exactly what and I just went, oh man. But we became, I became more acquainted with Marshall and got to know him and pick his brain about albums and about there was this album that the Basie band did in 1959 called Breakfast, Dance, and Barbecue. Yep, and it was recorded live at the Americana in Miami in October, right around this time of 1959. And I asked him about it, because to me it's one of the most amazing live bands. And he said that the band had a week at Birdland, and then they flew the band down to Miami to play a disc jockeys convention. And they were playing and they came out, and when they were done, it was like daybreak when they were finished playing the set, and every guy had a magnum of champagne underneath his music stand as a thank you to everybody. Like, I can't even imagine, And if you go back and listen to that record, just the amount of energy in that, that's such a beautiful album. Yeah. But yeah, that's when you show up and you all of a sudden you're sitting next to like one of your true heroes, and you're like, oh man, this is too much. I don't know what to do,
That was on my little question cheat sheet because of Marshall. So you got to hang with him a little bit. What besides speaking about that album? What was the biggest takeaway for you?
One of the takeaways is that he was all about the saxophone being basically an extension of your body, and that's kind of the way he lived his life. This big, confident, bold, sound, and he would. The stories he would have, all we'd have to do when Ray's band, because I had about 6-7 years towards the end of his life, I was with him, and I'd, carry his stuff to his car and help him, and you just give him a glass of red wine, and the stories just come out, and talk, he's jamming with Don Bias and jamming with Art Tatum and on Central Avenue, and because that's where he started, was on Central Avenue, and putting together the bands for Lionel Hampton and just helping to integrate the unions here in Los Angeles in the 50s and 60s.
He was part of that.
Oh, absolutely. He and Buddy Collette were major part of that. Major part of that. Yeah. And the command that he had in the studios. In the studio, I did recordings with him where it was just like, wow, he hears it and he knows and I hope that at his age when he was playing, I hope I have that command of the saxophone and the way he's able to play that, just this, it was the same saxophone he played when he was in the 1930s. I learned just the discipline of lead alto playing and being able to hear where the time was and being able to put the eighth note in the right place.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, and then also just that sound, just to hear that sound and the way he phrased, the way he carried a phrase, the way he played it like a violinist, because he started as a violinist, the way he played it as the phrase in music, it was phenomenal.
Wow,
it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's
Phenomenal.
So
wow.
If for your lead playing besides Marshall, are there any other people who?
Yeah. From there, Willie Smith, who played lead with Harry James, but also check out those Nancy Wilson records. This Bitter Earth. That record. That song. The Broadway My Way, Hollywood My Way. That's Willie Smith. Jerome Richardson. And then fast forward, Dick Spencer, Lanny Morgan, and I know I'm going to be leaving people out. And then my contemporaries, Eric Marienthal, Dan Higgins, and Dick Oates, and just that energy, just that presence, that I love that. It's like that kind of. This is where it is, right here. With me. This is where it is. That's a lead player.
Did you get to hang with Jerome at all?
I never met Jerome Richardson. I heard him play from a distance one time in a rehearsal at the Union. I'm just like, wow. Oh, cool. Yeah, he had a way of placing the eighth note that was different than anybody I ever heard. I can. It would be amazing to hear that live, like Groove Merchant live.
Yeah.
Hear him play that.
Oh yeah.
I can't even picture it.
Yeah.
It would have been a sure treat.
Yeah, yeah. No, that goes for me too. Hearing Mel playing that.
Right. But Med Flory.
Med
Flory as well. Med Flory, absolutely. Yeah. I grew up with super sax. I knew the super sax records before I kind of knew Charlie Parker.
Okay.
And I remember knowing Charlie Parker quite a bit. And then being in high school, my sister had a 1972 Mustang, and she let me borrow it one time for a weekend, and she was gone on vacation or something like that. And so I'm listening to the radio, and on this radio station here in Los Angeles that was called KBCA, which eventually became KKGO, right? And it was this great DJ named Chuck Niles.
Oh yeah, of course.
Who was just phenomenal. And I'm driving down Arcadia. I'm driving down Holly Avenue in Arcadia.
Bebop Charlie.
And I'm hearing this alto player, and I have to pull over. I can't drive and listen to this saxophone player, and I'm like, who is this? You know, and it's just this burning altos. And it was Cannonball Adderley playing a tune called Hoppin' John, and he's playing the blues, and it just goes on and on and on and on at this neck-breaking tempo, and I just went, all right, who is this? I had no idea, and that's when he said it was Cannonball Adderley. I never even knew who he was. That was like as a junior in high school, and I just couldn't believe what I was hearing, and that started me on another road of how does that guy do what he does, and
Let's put that on.
Yeah.
It's part of the package.
That's right, it is.
Yeah.
Hoppin' John.
That's right.
I've never heard that. Let's put that on and let's play the bassy track that you sent too with Louis Belson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cannonball
We'll talk
first?
about that too.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cannonball.
Yeah.
Okay. This one's coming long too. That's really fast. My fingers already hurt.
Yeah.
Right. And they're all available. Unbelievable. All the articulation.
Oh, wow.
And then he has to
Treasure.
and he has them like that. Wow. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, there's...
With Zavanul?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It didn't sound like that. Like Garland?
No.
Oof. Sounds like Louis Hayes. Sure.
Sam Jones. You ever hear that record? Sam Jones with Cannonball and Freddie Hubbard. I'm Just Friends. Freddie Hubbard must have been 20.
You're never gonna believe this. It's none of the piano players that you just heard.
Yeah.
This is Junior Mans.
Junior Mans.
This is Cannonball, Nat,
player.
Junior Mans, Sam Jones, and Jimmy Cobb.
Oh.
I really love it. Yeah, I've heard him once live. Joey DiFrancesco and Larry Cordial. He was already older, but that chord note was still there. Incredible to hear that twang.
Bob Harry's here. Hey, Bob. Harvey Wineapple here. No, Harvey?
No, I don't.
Oh, wonderful. Wind guy.
Really?
Player from the area.
No, I don't know who he is. I might. But,
Yeah.
But I...
Out here.
Yeah. Professional fade. Yeah.
How about that?
See that? See my professional fade skills?
Yeah.
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
shredding.
That's so
that,
burning.
that just
Oh,
started
my
me on like, what
God.
is going on here?
Wow.
And then, but you know, when I got to Long Beach State, my saxophone teacher Leo Potts told me, he said, you want to play jazz or you want to play classical? And I said, I want to play jazz. And he said, I'm going to teach you how to play saxophone first.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. That was it. That was it. And that's kind of the way that started. It was like, oh, okay, I need to know how to play the instrument correctly in order for me
Right.
to do that, because it's all the formal training and all the scales and all.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that you were already like busy with that. It just had to.
No.
Or were you like a
No,
rough diamond?
no, he kicked my.
He kicked it behind.
Oh yeah, no. I'll be and if I know he's around.
Yeah.
So no. He definitely. Oh yeah.
He did the same to me because I was playing trumpet and I really wanted to be a trumpet player. I had done it since junior high school, and I went into Long Beach State going, yeah, I like piano, but trumpet's my voice. And I was in the Wind Symphony with Leo as the conductor. And he kicked everyone's butt. He was just all about bringing the best out of your playing and demanding a high level.
Yeah.
And it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And in a way, it kind of put me in my shell to not be a trumpet player, because I'm like, I don't have the dedication on this instrument. I think I can do it here.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget what he taught me and how he presented it to me.
You really have to want it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thanks, Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
For everybody who's listening, that was Cannonball with Nat Adderley, Junior Mance on piano, Sam Jones on bass, and Jimmy Cobb on drums. And it's off of an album that is called Cannonball en Route, Hoppin' John.
Yeah.
Maybe to go straight into the other
bass.
track, because you sent a bassy track.
Yes.
Why did you send this bassy track?
Well, because of the ensemble.
Oh, okay.
And also because you can hear Marshall, but this is a vocal. There's
Irene Reed?
Irene Reed is a singer, but oddly enough, Sonny Payne, the drummer, he was in a car accident in Washington D.C. And Louis Belson is asked to fill in on drums. Ooh. And I have the entire week of this band playing in Sweden.
Oh my goodness.
And you can hear the beginning of the week, he's kind of reading it. And at the end of the week, he owns it.
Yeah.
And this is a good example here of not only Louis Belson, but the band playing along with Louis.
Yeah.
And
because you played with Louis' band.
I did 3 or 4 albums with Louis and played in his band.
Yeah. I tried to find this track where you play solo on it. I forgot the name of the track, but the record is called State of the Art. And you're playing, it's a feature for you because it's credited for you as a feature. Tommy Newsom arrangement?
Yeah, Tommy Newsom arrangement. It was a Louis Belson tune.
Yeah.
And a Tommy Newsom arrangement. I don't know the name. I have a copy of the chart too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a recording of it.
We recorded it at Capitol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For Concord. Greg Field was a producer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So how was Louis? So that maybe tell a little bit like what to you Louis' playing was like, and also his personality, because I've heard from so many people that he was the nicest guy.
One of the nicest people in the world, and caring and just very pleasant to be around. And you wouldn't think that a person who was so nice, so caring, and just soft spoken, and always had a smile on his face, can jam that shuffle beat right down your throat. And he would do it. You could just hear him, just like, and with the effort that he used, that he had to do it, it was, you just watching him do it, it doesn't look like he's really working that hard. And the sound of it is just intense, really intense. Especially like when I heard him before, like when Dick Spencer would play, and Menza and Chris Lieb and Gordon or Matt Cattengoob, when those guys are playing on the band, you can hear him at Disneyland. It was like it was that snare drum and that cymbal was just really, you know. And later on, when I was with him, yes, he was older, but it still had this intensity. And we were doing that album. Bob Florence wrote this real fast chart with real fast tempo, and we were rehearsing the chart a few days before, and Louis comes up to me and I said, Louis, God, that tune's really fast. He goes, yeah. He says, you know, for a big band drummer, when you read those charts, it's a good idea for the big band drummer just to play time, because you don't want to, you know, you screw things up. And he goes, I remember one time, and this is Louis Bellson telling me the story. I remember one time splitting sets with Charlie Parker at Birdland, and as he continues with the story, my mind, I just like,
Charlie Parker.
Okay, what did I just hear? And I said, sorry, Louis, you need to back up about 30 seconds, because you just told me that you split sets with Charlie Parker at Birdland. Yeah. Oh yeah, and he names every guy on Duke's small group. Duke's small group with Clark Terry and, you know, and he said and it was Charlie Parker. They put a rhythm section together for him, and he didn't like it, so he would leave after he played one tune with his rhythm section, and he'd come back and sit in with Duke's band. Oh. Wow. And then, but he didn't, because he didn't like playing with that rhythm section, you know. And he said, Louis said, hey, Bird, how come you don't like playing with the other band? He goes, well, he says, with that other band, you can't find one. And if you can't find one, you sure as hell can't find 2, 3, or 4 after that. and he said, which got him to think, okay, if you're just reading, you know, you just play time. Just play time, just occasionally get the hits, you know. Yeah. And that's kind of like, you can kind of hear Sonny Payne do that, you know, when he starts, we got like on the studio recordings they did, where he kind of tell he's just kind of reading it, versus that same chart performed on the road, where it was a whole completely different animal, you know. You know, Blues and Hosses Flat is a great example, you know, of that.
Love that too.
Louis just was really just one of a kind. Yeah, one of a kind. And that's where I get to know Pete Chrisley quite a bit, and to hear, you know, one of the giants of my lifetime. You know.
Yeah, let's listen to that's Backwater Blues.
Blackwater Blues, yeah, live in Sweden.
Big boy tempo right there.
It's the ensemble.
When it rains 5 days and the skies turn black at night, I said when it rains 5 days.
Thanks, Bob.
And
wow.
the skies
That's great.
turn black at night. Yeah.
Oh, it's Jack Sheldon.
You know
Jack
that
Sheldon.
I believe
Photo.
the whole
Yeah.
land.
Jack Sheldon.
And
I think
everything
it's-
is right.
Quentin, probably.
Well, when I woke up this morning, I couldn't even get out of my door. Yeah. When I woke up this morning, I couldn't even get out of my door.
Backwater Blues,
That's all I
Basie,
need.
live in
That's
Sweden.
That's right. Yeah, live in
Live
Sweden.
in Sweden.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
quarter note is also the size of a football field.
That's right.
That's right.
Everyone's
That's
feeling
right.
it together.
That's right. Everybody. Yeah.
God,
and
it's
and
just-
with Louis Belson subbing on drums. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so incredible because I was speaking with Alex last week about a different Basie album. I think it's called Basie's Beat, and he was asking me who are your favorite Basie drummers, and I go, well, Sonny Payne, Harold Jones, and he goes, I've been listening to a lot of Basie with
Rufus Jones.
yeah,
Speedy.
Speedy, yeah. So he showed me that, and then you hit me to this because I didn't know this, and it's so incredible how much of a different vibe Louis brings to that band, having also played with Ellington's band.
Yes.
And then Rufus has a different thing, and Sonny Payne has a very different thing.
Yeah.
It's still the same band, but the sound is actually very different with Louis. It's such a unique thing what he does.
Wow.
Yeah, that's more from a drum nerd
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Kevin. Yeah, Jeff Clausen's here. Hey, Jeff, regular viewer and supporter. He's asking what did you record with Lalo?
Oh, with Lalo Schifrin?
Yeah.
I did the remake of the soundtrack of the Cincinnati Kid.
Oh.
And I played alto, saxophone, and flute and bass flute with Andy Martin, Warren Looning, Pete Chrisley,
You remember it.
Mike Lang, God bless Mike
beautiful.
Lang,
Yeah.
Chuck Berghofer,
Oh.
Frank Capp,
Hey.
and maybe Barry Zweig or John Chiodini. I can't think of who the guitar player was. And we recorded live on. We recorded it in a studio on like somewhere on Santa Monica, some studio there.
Yeah.
And the night before, Frank Capp says, "You need to have a bass flute."
Oh, he was a contractor on it
And
too?
I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay."
Typical.
Okay. And
You didn't have a bass flute.
I didn't own a bass flute. So I called Sip. I called Gene Cipriano. I said, Sip, I have a problem.
He's probably got one.
And he goes, "Oh, come on over, man. Come on over. Yeah, you can have it. You can have it. You can take it." So, because we just do that for each other a lot of time. A lot of us, we just take it. Here, you need it. Take it. And played on this one tune called "The Man" that Lalo had written for that movie, and it was a bass flute part on the blues, real slow blues, and then Pete Chrisley plays a tenor solo on it. Yeah, it's a beautiful.
So you had to play
I played bass flute.
I want to hear that.
Yeah.
I gotta find that.
It's here. I didn't give
Did
that
you
to
send
you.
it to us?
I thought that it was the original one, so I have the original Cincinnati. The Kid.
Oh no, it's the remake.
Oh,
of
the
it.
remake. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
here.
it's the
Okay.
remake of it. Yeah,
All right. So we'll
yeah.
track that down.
If that's I don't know if that's the original or the remake that you have.
You want to hear a little bit?
Well, I'd have to see the cover of it.
Oh, well.
Play it. Play
I
a
think it
little bit.
was the original.
That's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it.
sounds like
That's not
that
it.
is-
Yeah, that's not it. That's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Lalo.
have to find it. Yeah, it's the remake of the Cincinnati Kid.
Maybe while
Yeah.
we're listening, I can
And
find
he,
it.
Sure.
he had strings on the album. I know that, but it was mostly that ensemble. And Warren Looning, God,
Yeah.
just gorgeous trumpet all throughout. All throughout.
Yeah. I mean, isn't he? No, he's not the guy on Chinatown. That's that's Ewan Racy. Yeah, but
no, Warren Looning's on a movie called John Williams, Big River.
Oh.
Big River.
well, I remember also that it's a Bob Florence waltz, and Warren plays the feature on it.
Yeah, on
Lonely. Is it Soaring or
Soaring
is it
is the
Lonely?
album.
Lonely Carousel.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm
you
not
know
sure.
that more than I would.
Yeah.
He also played on Sammy Nestigo's record we did on the Sammy Side of the Street, I think the name of the record. And Warren's featured prominently on that. Yeah, one of the most unbelievable trumpet players Los Angeles has ever seen, has ever heard. He could do anything.
Both lead and
Everything,
solo, right?
everything, just everything.
Yeah.
And blew me. He would blow me away.
We had a question earlier. Maybe
Yeah,
we can
from
get to
Taylor,
it.
I
Was
saw.
it Taylor? Oh yes, Taylor Hatch. Hey, does Sal have an opinion on which West Coast jazz record is underrated to him?
Oh,
It's a good question.
Yeah.
West Coast jazz record that's underrated.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how to answer that.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe if one comes to mind later. Yeah.
no,
Taylor always
no.
asks great.
I'm
tough
not sure what
questions.
the definition of West Coast jazz.
Well, I know that's come up on the show before.
You know,
so we call it that, but I always think about it as records that, if we just had to narrow it down, or even broadly, just there were just tracked here, and maybe cats that spent some time in Los Angeles, but actual recording sessions that happened here, even if there were transplants from recording.
Well, I think that the records that were done with singers are underrated.
Yeah.
I think Sammy Davis Jr.'s record with Marty Page band is
Oh, the Broadway songs.
Thou Swell.
Yeah.
Jack Sheldon and
Yes.
I think it's Bud Shank. And Mel Lewis.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the most amazing, and that could be considered underrated.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah,
it's, sure it's Sammy Davis Jr., but it's this band that's behind him.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, but
That's a good one.
there's so many of them. That are, I think of the Art Pepper Plus 11. I think of although that's not underrated.
That's pretty much
Sure.
widely considered as
Yeah.
one of the greatest albums ever.
Yeah.
It's come up on the show a number of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
also
maybe some of
partly
the-
my fault.
Yeah,
'cause
right.
Mel
You
Lewis's
love that.
playing is
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
on that album.
unfreaking believable on
Yeah.
that recording.
But no, some of those, you're right, vocalist records. I mean, I have a lot of Nancy Wilson records that were tracked here. Some with the Gerald Wilson Orchestra.
Yeah.
And some of Peggy Lee's records that I feel like, some of her crossover stuff when she was going from jazz to kind of pop, singing Bridge Over Troubled Waters and stuff. There's some good arrangements on some of those records. And I'm sure it's all the cats. I think Mike Melvoin and all those guys who played with her.
Yeah.
Well, what about Ruth Price with Shelly Mann's
Shelly
band?
Mann.
That's underrated.
That's
it sure
super
is.
tipping.
And Pinky Winters.
And Pinky.
Her album, just called Pinky, her original one.
Yeah.
She was married to
Hardaway.
Bob
right?
Hardaway.
Yeah.
I love Bob.
But Ruth, that's exactly. Ruth Price. Yeah, for those who don't know, I mean, Ruth Price, I got to know her as the proprietor and presenter of music at the Jazz Bakery, which is now defunct, or the location is, the series continues.
Yeah,
Kind
they
of a
started it
movable
back up.
place, movable feast. But Ruth was a ridiculous singer who really made some tracks.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we shouldn't forget, we've spoken about this a lot, but Jack Sheldon and Irene Krall on My Fair Lady.
Oh, My Fair Lady.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Larry Israel, My Fair Lady with Jack Sheldon.
That's right.
no,
Hey.
thank you, Larry.
Hey,
Yes,
you're reading our minds.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
very underrated.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, we played some tracks off that when we did the Sheldon tribute
Yeah.
with Tierney Sutton.
Yeah.
That was, and Dave Tull.
Yeah,
That was great.
yeah. They redid that. They
Yes,
redid that
right.
with Peter Erskine playing it.
Yes.
Right.
With
And Chuck.
yeah, and I think
That's right.
that was Chuck. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I think
Gary
when
Foster was on it.
when Tierney did it, John Williams conducted it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Tierney told us the person who has those charts, because the charts are in possession of
Yeah.
help me,
is it?
Shelley's wife,
Flip.
yes, but somebody has those charts now
Right.
for Flip,
us,
but
yes.
Tierney knows who that is.
Right.
You just spoke of Chris Lieb.
Yes.
And unbelievable tenor player, remarkable sound, and he made at least 2 recordings with Warren Marsh.
Yes.
And this one recording was, you know this as well, but it's produced by the Steely Dan people. I actually picked I'm Old Fashioned from that album.
Good choice.
With it's Lou Levy.
Lou Levy.
also again.
Yeah.
Ciroli.
I think.
Yeah, it's Ciroli.
Yeah, and
Jim Heward.
Yeah.
Ah, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You want to know that next?
yeah. Let's do it. Apogee.
Yeah.
Am
That's
I
right,
saying that
Apogee.
That's right,
correctly?
Apogee,
Apogee.
yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Lieb and Warren Marsh. I'm old-fashioned. Let's see, how do I do this? We'll go out with that.
Yeah.
Always great. Sorry,
well,
that was not effective. We're hosting, we're engineering a little bit, we're just trying to talk and listen to music. This is a thankless job. For the love of the music.
Yeah, exactly.
Our
Crying out loud.
friend Sal Lozano is joining us. We're having a ball talking about his amazing career, and and his inspiration, kind of some of these pieces we're showing here. That was Chris Lieb on the Apogee record.
Yeah.
Warren
Yeah.
Marsh and Chris Lieb.
Yeah.
Yeah, sharing that. Great picks. Really, really nice, man. Beautiful. And we go back 25 years or so.
Oh, yeah.
One of my, I just wanted to share this, but someone that taught me a lot about music was this great pianist and dancer and arranger named Jan Roper. And I had my first gig at the church at Rocky Peak up in Chatsworth, California. And lo and behold, the first horn charts I ever wrote as like a 17, 18-year-old, Sal was in the horn section.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I just remember it sounding so killing and getting to hear it. I was like, wow.
I haven't heard from Jan in a long time.
Yeah,
Hi to Jan. God,
yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, she's a wonderful musician.
Well, you remember when we crossed paths for the first time? That's not that long ago just yet.
Remind me. Am I going to be in trouble?
No. It's the Phat and Mel thing that we did.
Oh,
That was
absolutely.
very
The Blue
first
Whale.
time. Yeah.
Oh, man, what a blast that was.
Yeah.
What a blast that was.
I called you because I was on my way to a gig and I called you and I got your message. I got your info from Bob Shepard, and I texted you like, hey, can you do this gig? Blah blah blah. And then you called me back.
Yeah.
And you were like, and we didn't know each other. I just cold texted you. And I go, hi, I'm so and so, and I'm doing this gig. Would you want to be a part of it? Are you available? And then we did it, and that was one hell of a gig.
Yeah. I can't wait to do that one again.
Well, it's his centennial next year, so
I have to do it.
I have a few ideas.
Stay
up my
tuned,
sleeve.
everybody. This guy's got his ideas up his sleeve.
Yeah, that's right. What were the other things
we have the Klaus.
Oh, we have
go.
to.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have to do that. So
We got that queued up to the sandboard.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's two things with this. There's two things. Number one is what I like about this is the orchestral side of things and how I have a real love for orchestral playing and for
You wouldn't say.
yeah, I really do. I really do. And to hear things like to be in a situation where you're in a inside sitting in an orchestra hearing things played. It's besides that, playing saxophone like in an orchestra or something like that. And this is
You do a fair bunch of that.
I do quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I enjoy doing it. I
Yeah.
enjoy listening to it. I enjoy being a part of it, whether it's on flute or clarinet
Yeah.
or saxophone. This particular recording is a true inspiration to me, and it's the Klaus Ogerman Orchestra recorded in 1977 here. I think it's a Paramount, and or Warner's.
It says recorded at Capitol.
At Capitol,
But Warner's owns the copyright.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, who knows?
Yeah, who knows if this is correct? Yeah.
And hearing the orchestra play at the same time, and on this recording, you hear Michael Brecker, you hear Joe Sample, you hear George Benson, and then you hear this guy, David Sanborn, who for me, again, set another standard. I mean, really got us, put the saxophone on the, in an environment where, in rock and roll and in pop music and stuff like that. One of the true, with James Taylor, with Carly Simon, with all these other things that he did in New York. This particular recording here of him stands out for me, and it's something I love to listen to. This entire album, just putting it on from start to finish is such a.
This album was my first full exposure, pardon the expression, to Klaus Ogerman and his writing. I mean, it was like $1, a vinyl record in a bin. I'm like,
Oh,
this looks interesting.
$1.
And I put it on and I'm like, what is this? It's so, and it goes so many different directions.
Yes,
it's orchestral, it's funky, it's soulful, it's classical themes. Oh, it's just a really interesting album. It's called Gate of Dreams. Wow, what an interesting just a display of his talents as a writer. And that ensemble is insane.
Full LA
recorded by according to this, the late great Al Schmidt.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. Tommy LaPuma produced?
Tommy LaPuma, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is, Sal, we've selected this that features David Sanborn, as he mentions. The third band on the record, Time Past Autumn, Part 3, also has Joe Sample and Michael Brecker with some moments, but we're going to hear the Sanborn solo, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
With that theme. Okay, and we're back. So that was David Sanborn featured on Klaus Ogerman's 77 record, Gate of Dreams. John Guerin on drums and Chuck DeMonico on bass. And you listed all those players earlier. Just incredible playing.
We were speaking about that this is also a pretty heavy influence on Vince Mendoza's writing.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Klaus was definitely an inspiration to Vince's writing, who I saw last week actually with Luciano at Ford.
God, I'm so sorry I missed that.
Yeah.
Me too. I know, I was bummed.
Yeah, that was super cool. Super cool. I sat second row, just right there.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Another Klaus Ogerman record that, or no, it was Jobim.
Yeah, Jobim.
Machita Pare.
Yeah.
That one, the orchestrations, I was just like freaking blown away.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this guy.
Yeah.
He can write anything.
And Diana Krall.
And all the time.
Yeah.
Diana Krall
Quiet
stuff.
Nights.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right.
yeah.
Recorded here in LA.
And what's the featured record? Cityscape, Nightscape?
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Nightscapes?
Something like that. It's with the Cityscape.
Yeah.
That's with Gad on it.
Yeah.
Incredible, Michael Brecker.
Another
playing. Incredible.
Well, so Vince recorded with Luciano one or two of those tunes that Klaus Ogerman arranged for Jobim on that Storytellers album that they played last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think that they played at least one of them, one of those pieces, and it's like you should have seen like the front row with all of the woodwinds. Like Greg Huggins was playing like piccolo, flute, alto, soprano. And Shep was playing all of the clarinet lines, and he was like, "I'm glad that I'm not Greg Huggins because he needed like nerves of steel to play that piccolo."
That's Greg, man. That's Greg. Yeah.
Another giant of the orchestrating world is here. Nan Schwartz is watching.
Oh my God!
She says,
Of course she is.
Ogerman influenced.
Yes, you are.
And
you are.
I saw
Nan Schwartz, one of my heroes.
Right?
I saw her last week because she came to the concert, and then we went to hang with Shep, and she was there too. So hi, Nan.
Yeah, Nan.
She wrote arrangements for the Natalie Cole "Still Unforgettable" record.
I got to play them with Natalie live.
Oh,
those are my
right.
favorite charts. Were Nan's charts.
Are you on that? On that Natalie
She
Cole?
won a Grammy for that. Yeah.
But I
Here's That Rainy Day.
Yes. Are you on that?
Oh, yeah.
We should
That's the Grammy-winning
definitely
tune.
listen to
Here's That Rainy Day.
Yeah.
I have a great story about that.
Yeah. Oh, let's play that.
Yes.
Because Warren
yes,
Looning is the
yes.
trumpet player.
And Josh has played with Natalie.
I played this chart with her at least 10 or 15
And
times.
Warren Looning,
It's
Warren
freaking
Looning
great.
plays on the trumpet on that, and
Right.
it was last minute.
Yeah.
Natalie Cole.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And one take.
Oh, it's
On the
Looning,
trumpet
that's right.
solo.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Nan arranged that?
That's her arrangement.
Oh, wow.
And conducted the session.
Wow. Yeah, this is gorgeous.
This is one of those moments where you're sitting there, you're tapping. So start playing. No French horns. Strings.
Maybe
Sheesh.
I should have saved those leftover dreams. Funny, but here's that rainy day. Here's that rainy day they told me about, and I laughed at the thought that it might turn out this way. Where's that worn out wish that I threw aside? brought my lover near. Oh, funny how love becomes a cold, rainy day. Funny that rainy day is here.
It's supposed to be a trumpet player who lives in New York. Who's Dave Trick.
Dave Trick.
And they said, let's just have Warren. Warren, he just kind of sit. Warren's sitting up by himself. And it's, I do believe it's
Yeah.
Trey knew it was drinking here.
That's definitely Jeff.
They stopped recording, and when Natalie said, I was standing right there. History was just made right there.
Yeah.
The album again, Arkansas,
Ah,
Was that right? Yeah.
Where's that worn out wind
You just did.
that
You just did.
I threw
He
aside?
goes, oh, okay. And he just went like, he didn't say, oh no, let me do another one. No, he goes,
It brought
oh,
my
okay. I can't believe I just heard this.
yeah.
Al Schmidt, everybody's there. This is such a
Say it funny how love becomes a cold,
this is such a
rainy day.
It is.
Really incredible.
Yeah.
Funny.
I remember being there the whole time.
It was who I toured with when I first joined Natalie. This had just come out.
That rainy day is here.
Andrew Williams, great arrangement. Come Shine.
Oh yeah, come ready to come shine.
Yeah, it's a sweet. And then Ann also did volumes of Rex music. It's so gorgeous.
At the end,
That's the line. Oh
Yeah.
man, thank you for
yeah.
bringing that one up.
Sure.
That you, yeah.
Are we on?
Wow, we're on.
Yes.
The mics are live.
Yes.
Everybody.
We're having too much fun also.
Yeah.
The music is happening.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nan, for that
Yeah,
Great
arrangement.
timing, man. Great
Yeah.
timing.
Wow,
We had it
Nan
queued up ready for you.
Schwartz.
Yeah. Great
And
timing.
Nan also worked on Bob Shepard's wife, Maria Shepard, played on that record with Mike Valerio and Christian Newman, and she did all the string writing for that, and that'll be out soon.
Oh,
All
cool.
Brazilian
That's
kind of
awesome.
stuff. It's great. Dora Kaimi songs and really beautiful writing.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Well, I think that about maybe does it. We're out of time,
Unless-
getting out of time.
unle-
I got to
I
teach
mean-
a lesson.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. Well, unless Sal has
Do you have any?
one.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask
What?
you something.
Yes.
Parting words, maybe words of wisdom to some of our maybe younger viewers, aspiring wind players. Anything that you can share? How you cut your teeth, or any
I think
formidable moments?
You're
like
really, I think, really something that I heard
Mm-hmm.
recently. I heard an interview with with Jerry Seinfeld. And Jerry Seinfeld, they asked him, they said, you know, you have a lot of talent. You know, are there people you know who have that kind of talent? What does it take to get that kind of? And he said, let me put it this way. He said, let's just talk about the entertainment business. The people who want to be in the entertainment business in LA, in Los Angeles, as a musician or an actor or a comedian or whatever it is, in Los Angeles or anywhere in the world. I shouldn't say Los Angeles. Anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
They want to do it. They do it because they want to do it. Sure, you have the talent. Everybody's got the talent, but they really want to do it. And I think that's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to really want to do this. You know, I feel that from I feel that from the two of you. I feel that from when you can tell when somebody really wants this. You know, when I have a student who really wants it, you can tell. Oh,
Yes.
okay. And they come back with more questions. They come back with more things they've discovered. They come back with more, you know, and I really believe that. I really believe that. So
Thanks for that.
I think you have to want it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
Couldn't
not
agree
just
more.
Shows
just talent.
No,
That's right.
it's not just that. You really have to work at it. Yeah, and everything that you could. It's like be, do, have. You want to become that. You do what it takes to do that, and then you will have it.
That's cool.
You know.
Be, do, have. That's cool.
That's from my wife.
Be, do, have.
Be, do,
I like that.
Yeah.
You got to be, do, have, everybody.
Be, do,
Yes,
have.
exactly.
Be, do, have.
BDH.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very nice track to actually, because we can do this for hours and hours and hours. We always run into this issue that we just, you know, we have the tip of the iceberg right now and we can go on forever. But this is a nice track to wrap things up. Thank you, Sal,
Thank you.
for sharing all of this amazing music. Some of this stuff I really didn't know, so for me it's always awesome to hear something
illuminating
new.
for sure.
Yeah, and same for Josh, and thank you for sharing your experiences and your wisdom. Thank you for playing in our big band.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a treat.
Yeah.
Complete, absolute treat.
Well, this goes both ways.
Yes.
For our people who are watching this from wherever in the world, from your living room or in your bedroom or wherever, we have one show lined up in November with Marshall Rogers. The date is escaping my
It's the last
mind.
Friday of November.
Last Friday of November, so that might
Day
be
after Thanksgiving, I think.
so that it's November 26th.
I think you're 25th.
25th.
Yes.
November 25th, we're going to interview Marshall Rogers, who is the son of Shorty Rogers. And we're going to talk about Shorty's life and also a little bit about Marshall, because Marshall is just a super cool guy who is very into the legacy of his father and advocating it, and really enthusiastic also about the band. And we just did a small tribute to Shorty not that long ago. And we will continue playing Shorty's music, so that should be really fun. So we're gonna sign off, and we hope you'll join us again on November 25th with a tribute to Shorty Rogers. But for now, thank you to everybody who was watching. Thank you, Sal. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
And
Thanks, Sal.
enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.